Welcome to Cory's Stories. Are you ready to meditate with Cory?
Hi, my friend. I wanted to just jump in for a quick minute just before you listen to your story and say, if you love Heidi and Cherry and you love Tucker and Leo and you think you would like to be in one of their clubs, go to the link below my video and you can join the Cat Club or the Tucker and Leo Club, or you can join both the clubs called Raining Cats and Dogs. It's a club where you get 3 or 5 or 2 exclusive stories every month that are sent to you, and you get to have your name mentioned in those stories. If that's something that you want, then talk to your guardians, your mom, your dad, your auntie, your grandma, whoever it is that helps to take care of you, and ask them if you can join the cat club or the dog club. Okay, enjoy my story. I love you so much. Bye. Bye.
Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Make sure that you're laying in your bed and you're super comfortable. Check that everything is just right in your room. The light is just right. You're wearing your cozy, comfortable pajamas. And that way you can relax your body and let go of your busy, busy day. Corriannda was very, very sad. One of her cats had recently died. She was out in the forest with her cat, Chedder. It was very important for Corriannda to say goodbye to Chedder in the most special way that she could think of. Chedder liked to be outside. He liked the trees, the birds. He liked to play in the ferns. Chedder liked cheese, hence he was called Chedder. Chedder liked to play with butterflies. He also liked the flowers. Corriannda had dug a hole in the ground next to a very special tree. It was one of the biggest trees in the forest. It was one of Corriannda's favorites. And being a witch, Corriannda had the ability to energetically feel if a tree was a good tree or not. And this particular tree felt like a granddad tree. It had jolly, fun, loving, hugging energy. It had a vibe of like Santa Claus. You know, imagining a grey-haired grandpa with a nice white beard and a big tummy that you could snuggle into when you hugged them. And a raspy, sweet voice that sounds like Santa. Ho, ho, ho. This is exactly what the tree felt like when Corriannda touched it. And because of that, it was the perfect place to bury Chedder next to. what was even more cool about this particular day was that there was a big, giant spider web in front of the tree. And the spider in the middle was huge. Rather than that be something scary, Corriannda felt like it was a sign. Even the spiders loved the energy of this tree. They wanted to build their webs around it, close to it, as if the tree was protective, as if the tree would be keeping the spider safe. And spiders are magical. They are magical insects, busy, creative. Just the spider webs alone can be so beautiful. So to Corriannda, this was a good sign. It wasn't a bad sign. When she was digging the hole next to the tree, she was very, very mindful to ask permission. She asked the tree permission and made sure that the tree was okay with Chedder being buried right there at its roots. When Corriannda put her hand on the tree to ask, it felt like the reply was very sincere. Yes, of course, the more the merrier. That's what she felt. She didn't dig the hole too deep, but it was wide enough that Chedder could lay comfortably. But before she put Chedder in, she laid the base of the hole with ferns so he would be comfortable and it would be soft. And then she sprinkled rose petals over the ferns and laid Chedder's body down into the earth. Walking through the forest, she'd picked many different things that she planned to put in with Chedder, along with the things that she brought. She brought him a piece of cheese. She wrote him a note that morning about how much she loved him and how happy he made her, and how glad she was to have been part of his life. She'd also made a daisy chain, big enough for him to wear as a crown. She placed that on his head and covered Chedder with all the things that she wanted him to go to the other side with, so he wouldn't feel alone. She had a butterfly wing because he loved butterflies, and she'd found it a couple of years earlier in a garden. She'd saved it, and this was the perfect time to gift it to Chedder. She put so many petals around and over his body. His little face looked peaceful and quiet. She wanted to make sure that Chedder felt loved as he traveled into the other dimensions. The dimensions where he probably was already. His soul was there already, running and playing, chasing butterflies, pouncing on the fern leaves, having fun. This is how she saw Chedder in her mind, even though tears ran down her face, and it was so sad that she wouldn't be able to hold him and be with him on this part of the reality. But in another reality, he was still going strong. He was still full of life. He was still Chedder. Corriannda said a prayer. She set an intention as she sprinkled the rose petals and the other dried flower petals that she'd brought over his body. An intention to send him with love and peace and happiness. And then she very slowly covered his body with the dirt so that Chedder could go back to the earth. He could feed the tree. He could feed the insects. He could feed whoever needed to carry on with their life now that Chedder was gone. Back to ashes, back to earth. Once he was covered with the dirt, she put special branches that she'd found along the way and shaped them into a cross over the earth. And then she took out her pocket knife and asked the tree if it was okay if she could make a special mark on its trunk so that she would remember exactly where Chedder was every time she came back. The tree accepted. Corriannda carved a love art in part of the bark, just a small one. A love heart that represented how much she loved Chedder and how much she would always carry him in her heart. And when it was done, she stood back and said goodbye to Chedder. She walked back through the forest. There was so much life around. The birds were singing. She heard an owl at one point. There was rustling in the trees as if maybe there was squirrels or other animals running around, signifying to Corriannda that life goes on, that we live and we die. When Corriannda got home, she had a very special necklace. It was a necklace that had a little trinket bottle on it. You could take the top off the bottle and you could put special potions or different herbs or spices, pieces of earth, whatever you wanted to put in it, you could put in it and wear it around your neck. Corriannda had a couple of Chedder's whiskers that she'd very carefully taken from him once he passed away, and a little bit of his fur. His fur was always so soft and the prettiest orange. She put his whiskers and the bit of fur into the bottle that had a long silver chain on it. She closed the top and placed it over her head. The bottle fell right between her ribs, right where her heart center would be. This way she felt like Chedder was right next to her heart at all times. Next to her heart and inside of her heart. All of the memories. Even though Corriannda was sad, she was also very, very happy. She was happy that she had been blessed to have Chedder in her life. She was blessed that Chedder loved her and that she loved Chedder. There was lots to be thankful for, even though it was a very sad occasion. And Corriannda, being a very smart, intuitive witch, knew that it was best to focus on all the love and happiness and gratitude that she felt, rather than focus on being sad. So she chose daily, for weeks and weeks after, to focus on something good, a funny memory, a happy memory, a silly memory of Chedder. And every day she made herself think about him in that way, in a happy way. And it really helped her to heal her heart. Chedder would never be forgotten. Chedder would always live on, in Corrianda's mind, in Corrianda's heart, and in Corrianda's vial that she kept his precious fur and his whiskers in, forever and ever and ever. And so it is. And so it is. The end.